Kind of creeped out for a second there, so there was something there. So, let's go give this a shot now. Ton of little things around the place. Tree in distance. There's a thing upgrade over there. God, I was meant to fight that earlier. Demi-Human's Queen Staff, Crystal Burst. Who said I accept surrenders? I'm a murder hobo. What do you expect? Glintstone Staffs, styled as a scepter. Gift once given to demi-humans to foster peace. Can be wielded even by those of low intelligence. Sneered at by fools in the academy. And it scales off strength. Does that mean it has sorcery scale off strength? Because that's nice. Yeah, I'm directly inhibiting the fostering of peace right now. And yeah, no, that was just a guide marker. Nothing more. Morn Tunnel. Seems a number of these are still working. Iron Cleaver. Conditions don't seem to be the best, do they? Mine. Then again, there seem to be humans also working in these conditions, so... So shit on the poors. It's not just the demi-humans being trod on, it's just... the lower classes. A curved sword with a single-sided blade delivers slashing attacks with its sharp blade, but is ineffective against thick armor and hides covered in tough scales. Wielders of the weapon employ a unique style that enhances attacks with spinning motions. Iron Cleaver. Fairly large iron cleaver, commonly used by the maltreated misbegotten. Steeped in resentment, these weapons are swung wildly and relentlessly, often after rushing up to foes. So no, the misbegotten are especially poorly treated. Golden rune. Salted flesh. Oh, you got a different bag. Nodding. Somber smithing stone 1. Large glintstone shard. Large glintstone scrap. 2 of them at that. So that uprising and more may have been justified. Still, they were hostile to us, so... Well, it's justified in our doings. Oh god, they're butchering their fellow miners. Well, Stevenson resentment doesn't lead to the best of revolutions. Thank you for flopping a little lower. From what little I can see, it kind of seems like a boss room ahead. Scaly misbegotten. Rusted anchor. Enemy felled. Extra 2,000 souls. Great axe. A rusty anchor, wielded as a weapon. Each of its 4 flukes is thick and sharp, enabling piercing attacks. When the tarnished left the lands between with the reward, one boat alone was said to have been left behind. The tarnished left the lands between? Remember the story the other one said about them being the award being sent out to another land to fight and to die, him and his men. That must be. Honestly, I thought this was fire, you know, it gotta be hot. So they like an iron deposit or something? Like, what is that meant to even be? The way it's, like, set up there, it almost looks venerated. Boat attacks of Bloodhound's Finesse require their own FP cost. That's why I did a different, 2 different ones there. Like paid and unpaid. More soft cotton. As opposed to hard cotton. If there is hard cotton, I've never had it. Hang in there, man. Shit. It's nice here that you can run as long as you want outside of combat. Apparently there's going to be a just announced like today, as far as I know, a remake of The Witcher 1. And I've seen people commenting about how, you know, jank the game is, and I suppose there might be a bit to it. But like how terrible the combat was and stuff like this, and I don't see it. It's never been an issue for me. It's never been an issue. The sword fights, think of it as a rhythm game. You have to time it. And as your combos grow, the timing changes. Similarly, there's 3 attack styles: strong, fast, and party, or group. If you see a bulky guy, you use strong. If you see a slender guy, you use fast. And if there's more than one, or if you don't want to futz with that, just use party. Party hits both at reduced damage, but it hits both. And if you can use fast on a strong guy, but it will do immensely reduced damage. So party gets around that, and it's a beautiful thing. If you want to skip all that altogether, just fixate on Igni. That's literally the I win button in the game. You can blitz the final boss in a couple of castings at that. Well, maybe more than a couple, meaning 2. Maybe 10 at most. And the final boss is dead. And you can spam it. Just dead. Moving on. I know you can blitz like end game enemies with it, like 4 shots and they're gone. And these are like towering freaks in plate. And 4 casts and they're gone. But yeah, I never found the issue with it. Like, it was always fine to me. I think part of my issue in understanding stems from the fact that I've never seen anyone expound upon it. Just saying, oh, the combat's shit. End of story, moving on. Just makes it hard to understand all other perspectives. I do like to see other perspectives and try and understand them. Because people view things differently, and blah. I just like to see how other people think, you know? I just remember the mistake I made. Pay me no heed. But, yeah. Keep remembering the mistakes I made. Yeah. But, yeah. I've seen these dots elsewhere. Or maybe I've just seen that one repeatedly. No, here's one. But, yeah, I've never seen anyone expound upon it. It's always just been Witcher 1 sucks, and that's it. Or just calling it jank. But I found the combat to be just fine. Certainly, I may prefer, like, Witcher 3 to it. Certainly, it's more fluid. But you just gotta come at it on its own terms. View it as a rhythm game that it is. Or skip the rhythm game and just, as much as you can, and just fixate on Igni. There's limits to that too, maybe mid-tier, but yeah. Soon enough you can just fixate on Igni and just ignore actual combat. One thing. No, we haven't got another one of those yet. So I will probably give a try to the remake, out of curiosity, see what it's like, blah blah, but I haven't had the same issues with the original game that other people have had. It's been fine to me. And I'm not knocking people for having any trouble with it, it's just... Well, I can see it as a jank game. With it, I can see it as a game with its issues. It just doesn't seem that bad to me. That's all. Now, if they're talking about something like Dwarf Fortress, yeah, I can get that. I've tried to get into it and it's just, like, insurmountable. Ugh. But I just don't see it. So, it just ends up with me puzzled, that's all. Oh, nice. It's just stored there on my hip. But yeah, if you have any input on that, feel free to let me know in the comments. Keep in mind the time delay and whatnot between this coming out and being recorded. But yeah, tell me what you want in the comments. Like, if you have any input, any take, if you've had a rough time with Witcher 1 and want to voice your stance on it, voice it away. Like I said, I like to hear other perspectives. Actually, this is progress. So, yeah, I like to hear other perspectives, other views. So, you know, let me know below. 3 gunstone scrap. Refuse to die here. I feel I made a shit at that point there. Basically, what I was trying to say was, I've never had an issue with Dark Souls 1, Witcher 1 combat. It was a bit clunky, especially compared to what came after. But as long as you timed your attacks and followed the prompt on screen, I never had an issue. And you just had to adjust it depending on the combo you were doing. As long as you're just focusing on the cursor, it was easy enough. And then once I discovered the Igni cheat, I could just cakewalk over, steamroll over anything, including the final boss. So I'm not really sure where people's critiques are coming from on it, unless there's something I'm missing. Let's just go and kill the boss. Oh, no. Yeah, you died to a slap on the ass. Roar, Medallion. Yeah, we're now at the Japanese Spider-Man show. For those who don't know what I'm referencing, I've heard 2 different things on it. You know, like Power Ranger, Kamen Rider and whatnot will be tokusatsu or henshin hero. Someone was saying tokusatsu was actually the camera work. Henshin hero will be their actual genre. I don't know. But there was a whichever tokusatsu or henshin hero series for Spider-Man. Live action show, I think Power Rangers. But back in the 70s, 77, over in Japan for Spider-Man. Completely different background to it than Peter Parker. It's this Japanese guy. His father was astroarchaeologist? Astro something? And anyway, a fucking spaceship crashes into the Earth. And the father goes out to study it. But the guy feels like he's psychically drawn to it. He was initially skipping out on it to go to a motorbike race. And the father was fine with it, that's what the kid wanted. But he's drawn to it, and the father gets killed by the bad guys. Stumbles into a cave with this alien. The alien calls him brother, because he's the one person in the cosmos that can hear his psychic calls. The guy's like telepathy is... What I got of Gary's psychic powers was that it was powerful, but very fine-tuned. It's to the point where only one other guy could hear him. The guy gets a blood transfusion from Garia, the last survivor of planet Spider, and becomes Spider-Man. The Spider-Man costume literally shoots out of a bracelet and like onto him. You even see it zip up. But yeah, he's fighting a mook, and like the guy's on the ground, and he pounces on him and slaps him on the back, but it looks like he's more slapping him on the ass. Yes, Spider-Man bad touched the guy to death. Another bit, he actually hangs a dude. Jesus. We don't get to see him completing the hang. He gets scared off because the others start opening fire on him, but yes. He shoots a rope, around the guy's neck and starts trying to hoist him up onto a building by his neck. And yeah, this is the show where he's like crouching weirdly and he's like, Spider-Man, emissary of hell. Same show. It's fantastic. You got to take a look at it. Apparently, the Marvel execs, when they came to see it, hated it. All of them vetoed it, said no. Stanley alone apparently applauded it. Because while it was nothing like what was back in the West, what they had back in the West wasn't working over in Japan. And he felt while it was completely different to... While, like, the story and everything was different to, you know, Peter Parker and all that, it kept the everyman hero aspect of it. It kept the spirit alive. And, like, I mean, like, the main guy keeps Clark Kenting it, and then his sister and his little brother keep shitting on him. Oh, you left your girlfriend alone, and you're terrible, and all this, and he's just like... He has to put up with that bullshit when he's literally just had to change outfits before he bet up the guys. So. Yeah, I know, all I'm saying is it's keeping the Spider-Man is suffering team alive. So, you know, it's still in team. Like, I mean, in a recent comic they had Mary Jane leave Peter yet again. And she's either had 2 kids with a guy, or she's after taking the kids with her. I'm not sure. They've also brought the other chick back alive, Gwen Stacy. I've never really gotten into the Marvel comics, so I never really got into any comic. I got The Simpsons, Beano, and Dandy, and that was it as a kid. When I was a bit older, I got one Spider-Man comic, and that was it. All I remember from it is the guy sticking a gun in his own mouth and me being like, shit. There's still something in here. When you work your way over to here, there is that fog barrier. That might be gone now that I killed the boss, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna head over here and see what happens. I'll just top up my... I'll just level up again. Excuse me. Ooh. Shit. First time I missed it. Hopped a little too soon. Oh, that was nice of the game. Oh, first I've ever fallen. In. I'm getting risky here. Risky for a biscuit. I'm also tanky as all loving shit now.